Hey, this is Miss Harris, and this is Math for You. Today I want to continue our discussion on how to solve word problems. So let's go ahead and get started. This word problem says Timothy scored the following on his exams: a 76, an 83, and a 90. What must he make on his last test in order to have an 80 average? So when we look at this, we see that we have a lot of numbers. And the first thing that I'm looking at is that we want to have an average. He wants an 80 average, an average of 80. How do we calculate averages? Well, to calculate an average, the formula that we use is going to be however many tests we have divided by how many. So let's look if we have one test, and we have a second test, and we have a third test, and we have a fourth test. We take all of these tests, add them together, and divide by how many tests we have, which is 4, and that will give us our average. So this formula is going to be helpful in solving this problem. So we know his test scores. We just are missing 1, and we know that he wants his average to be 80. So let's go ahead and rework this formula. So his first test was a 76. His next test was an 83. And his third test was a 90. His fourth test, we don't know what it is. If we don't know what a quantity is, we have to represent it with a variable. I'm going to choose X. Since I have 1, 2, 3, 4 test scores I want to add together, I'm going to divide the sum of the 4 exams by 4. And he wants that to equal 80. He wants an average of 80. So in this problem, I'm going to let X equal the 4th test score. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine like terms in the numerator of the fraction. So this is a constant term of 76, this is a constant positive term of 83, and I have another constant positive term of 90. So when we go ahead and combine those like positive constant terms, we're going to discover that that total comes out to be 249. Plus whatever the 4th test score is divided by 4 must equal 80. If I want, I can go ahead and rewrite this algebraic equation. I'm going to pull out the fraction. I'm going to say 1/4 times everything that's in the numerator. This top portion right here is called your numerator of your fraction. And this is the denominator. So what I want to do is I've pulled out this 1/4 and I'm rewriting the left-hand side of the algebraic equation like this. It's a equivalent or the exact same expression that I have. But now I can see I'm dealing with a fraction. And I remember from our work before that anytime I'm dealing with a fraction, I have to multiply each side of the algebraic equation by the reciprocal of the fraction. The reciprocal of this fraction is 4 over 1. We take what's in the numerator, bring it to the denominator, and whatever's in the denominator goes up to the numerator. And we want to make sure that whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. We need to stay in balance. This will reduce down to 1, leaving me just that numerator that was there. So I'm going to rewrite the left-hand side as 249 plus X is equal to 80 times 4 will give me 320. Okay? So we're still trying to solve for the unknown 4th test score. What does he have to make in order to get an 80 average? So on the left-hand side, of the equation, and this is my left-hand side, I have 249 is my constant term plus my variable term. I'm going to go ahead and put up my barrier right here. And on the right-hand side, I have the constant term of 320. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract from both sides a constant term of 249. I didn't touch my term, my x term, my variable term, so I'm just going to bring that down. So x is equal to 71. This means that Timothy would have to get at least a 71 if he wants to get an 80 average. Is that right? Well, to see if our solution is correct or not, we have to check our work. So we're going to go ahead and check our work. So let's go ahead and check our work. We came up with a solution that the fourth test had to be a 71. So going back to our original equation, we had the first test score plus the second test score plus the third test score plus the fourth test score, and we're going to divide that all by 4. So when we go ahead and add up all these test scores, we are going to see that we have 320 divided by 4, and that equals 80. Is that the average that he wanted to get? Yes, it is. So we give ourselves a big check. So in this problem, we had to know the formula for an average. We defined our variable x to be our last test that we would be taking. We solved. We had to pull out the fraction, use a reciprocal, and then we found a solution that x had to be 71. Lastly, we went ahead and checked our work to verify that the answer was correct. So I hope that this was helpful. Please go ahead and review the material again. Go back to the beginning, stop it, and try to work out the steps. And also use this problem in some of the other problems in your homework or your worksheets that are very similar. All right, I'll see you in class. Thanks for watching and listening. And this is Mrs. Harris, and this is Math for You.